I am so bullish on DeFi 2.0, it's not even funny. In my last video, I already made the case that this niche is $1 million opportunity. So in this video, I'm gonna share my top 10 projects that I like. I'll give a quick overview of each one, and we'll take a look at the charts to talk strategy. So if that sounds useful to you, then strap in my friend and let's roll the intro. The purpose of this video is not to explain DeFi 2.0 or share why I think it's so promising. If you want to hear about that, you gotta watch my other video that I'll link you at the end of this one. But honestly, you can watch this one without the other one and still get a ton of value. So let's just dive right into my project number 1, Alchemix Finance. And by the way, I'm sharing these in no particular order. Alchemix is simple. You deposit coins as collateral and you get a loan in their stablecoin. This is super similar to MakerDAO, but the huge difference here is that Alchemix loans are self-repaying because they use your collateral to generate yield. As a borrower, you are never at risk of getting liquidated. This is actually super innovative because with all the other DeFi protocols, you still have a risk of liquidation. Their token is ALCX, and if we look at their price chart, I like what I see. Shortly after listing, they pumped a lot, but then dropped significantly. But now it's consolidated for a bit, and it looks like it's forming a rounded bottom, which I think makes it prime for big gains during the next alt season. As for where I'd buy the token from, I'd use SushiSwap or Uniswap. Next up, number 2 is Tokemak. Basically, they pool together a ton of liquidity and then they token holders vote to direct that liquidity to various pools in Uniswap or SushiSwap. This is great for DeFi projects that want to rent a high quality source of liquidity without having to give out more and more of their own tokens to incentivize those fickle liquidity providers. On the other hand, LPs only need to deposit a single asset to earn a pretty high yield. And they don't face the risk of impermanent loss anymore because it's Tokemak that bears that risk. Their symbol ticker is TOKE, and if you look at their charts, it's pretty much been up only since they listed in August. I've kept my eyes on this token for a bit, but haven't bought in yet because I do prefer to wait for a pullback before entering. But I do think it's super solid though, so perhaps entering a bit right now would be a good strategy too. As for where you should get it from, the usual dexes like Uni or Sushi work well. Alright, on to number 3, which is Rary Capital. They offer a whole suite of DeFi protocols, but a really cool one to focus on is their Fuse product. Basically, Fuse lets anyone spin up a custom and isolated pool for lending and borrowing whatever assets they want. It's very similar to Compound or Aave, but Fuse pools are much more customizable. And if one pool is set up poorly and fails, it won't affect any of the other ones created. And you can adjust everything you want for the pool, like the oracles used, the interest rate curves, the liquidation levels, anything really. As for the token, it's called the Rary Governance Token or RGT. If we take a look at their charts, there's been 2 bullish periods so far since launching in December 2020. We're actually getting a bit high right now for my taste, but also their market cap is only around $500 million, so it's not overvalued either. If you want to, you can get this on Coinbase or Binance. Now, before I get to my number 4 project, I want to give a quick shout out to our longtime sponsors, Crypto.com. You can trade over 200 of the hottest coins on their app, and honestly, I'm super impressed at their selection and listing speed, because they often have the coins that I want to buy way before Coinbase and other exchanges have them. You should also sign up for one of their Visa debit cards though, because I've been using theirs for years now and it's super convenient. You can use it anywhere in the world that accepts Visa. If you haven't signed up yet, please use my link down below and you can get a $25 welcome bonus if you get their debit card. Alright, on to number 4, which would be Convex Finance. Now, Convex is a protocol that's built on top of Curve. And if you don't remember, Curve is an AMM type platform just like Uniswap, but they specialize in swapping similar type assets. And by that I mean like stable coins, for example. And Convex's job is very simple. They help Curve users, like Curve liquidity providers and CRV stakers, to put their assets to work more efficiently. Basically, they're helping those users make more money. You can deposit your CRV or LP tokens with them and get boosted rewards, more trading fees, and so on. Their token is CVX and this is their chart. They had a quick pump and dump since launch, but now they are on a more sustained bull period. Market cap is around 800 million with fully diluted being around 2.5 billion. Pretty fair valuation in my opinion, so perhaps you could enter some now and save some capital for a pullback if we get one. The best place to get this token is on your usual DEXs, SushiSwap, and Uniswap. Okay, my number 5 project would be Gelato, and this is quite different from anything else I've seen so far, because they are a decentralized network of bots that help developers automate various smart contract functionalities. So instead of every DeFi team building their own bots from scratch, they can utilize Gelato bots, which saves them time and are way more polished anyways. As for what the bots can do, it's things like place limit orders on DEXs or auto refinancing loans, for example. Gelato's token is GEL, and if we look at the charts, their token has not been performing that well recently. But it's early, they only launched a couple months ago and their market cap is relatively small, so it has a lot of room to grow in the future. If you're interested, you can get GEL on Uniswap. Next up, my number 6 project is Tranche Finance. Now this gets a little bit complicated, but I'll try to explain it simply. Basically, Tranche takes any token that accrues interest, like Compound C token or Aave's A token, and splits it into 2 new tokens, Tranche A and Tranche B. Tranche A has lower risk, and it offers fixed rate interest, while Tranche B has higher risk and it offers variable rate interest, which is often higher than what you can get from the underlying protocol. Now, you're probably wondering what the heck is the point of all this? Well, you kind of have to be knee deep in finance to really understand, but basically their approach gives people more flexibility to manage their risk and returns. Their token is called Slice, and it's been trading in a pretty narrow range since early 2021. But they recently broke out ever so slightly. This is a smaller project, by the way, with only a $25 million market cap and only about 10 million in total value locked. If you do want to buy this riskier one though, you can get it on Bittrex or Gate.io. Now actually for my 7 through 10 projects, I want to present them rapid fire and all at once because they're all related. Basically, I chose 4 Olympus DAO or OM forks as 7, 8, 9, and 10. So first let's talk real quick about Olympus, and then we'll jump in to see what makes these forks different from one another. The goal of Olympus is to create a decentralized reserve currency, kind of like Bitcoin, but a big difference here is that Olympus is backed by their own treasury of assets, so they can use that to stabilize their currency. This is not too different from what central banks do today if you think about it. But another key innovation here is how they use bonds to grow their treasury, because you can buy Olympus bonds which give you their own tokens at a discount, and you can get those by trading various assets like stablecoins, Ether, and also LP tokens for their own pools. This way they control their own liquidity, and the assets they hold also generate revenue for them. So that's how their treasury grows over time. Anyways, that's Olympus DAO in a nutshell, and these next 4 projects pretty much copied their base model with some slight tweaks. Like number 7, which is Wonderland and their Time token. They are also a decentralized reserve currency protocol, just like Olympus, but they are built on the Avalanche network. Their price chart looks pretty solid. They're definitely in an uptrend. And if you want to buy Time, you can do so on Trader Joe. Next is number 8, or ClimaDAO. I told you this was going to go rapid fire, by the way. But anyways, this is quite special because their focus is on fighting climate change, and they want their reserve currency to price in the cost of carbon. So their treasury includes special tokenized carbon credits instead of your typical crypto assets. Their native token is Clima, and this is their price chart so far. Had a large drop from its earlier highs, but I like that because it's better to buy now than before, right? They are on Polygon, by the way, so you need to use SushiSwap to buy their token. Alright, number 9 would be Gyro. This is a pretty basic clone, to be honest, and they are based on Binance Smart Chain. Their token is Gyro, and their price chart shows a pretty hard drop since going parabolic a few weeks ago. This is definitely a smaller, more risky project for sure. And finally, number 10 would be Exodia with their Exode token. Once again, super similar, but this time on the Phantom network. They literally just launched a few days ago, so this is their price chart so far. And yeah, the only place to get them would be Phantom's DEX, SpookySwap. Now I have a very important warning for you here before you ape into any of these Olympus forks, because yes, they are all the rage right now, but so many people are forking the project and putting very little effort into it. So there's a high chance that several of them are scams and will rug pull you. Just promise me you'll be careful and definitely manage your risk, please. But beyond that, I don't recommend you ape into any of these DeFi 2.0 projects, no matter how solid they are, because honestly, I believe that patience is key here. If we look at other hot niches that rocketed recently, like layer 1 projects, meme coins, or NFTs, they had a super hot bull period, but they eventually cooled off and gave great entry points to patient investors. I mean, if some of these you think are fairly valued or even undervalued, then sure, buy some right now, but definitely keep some capital available to scale in later. At least that's what I'm gonna do. By the way, if you haven't watched this video yet, where I explain DeFi 2.0 and share why I think it's $1 million opportunity, then you definitely have to. Or you could watch this one about my top 5 stablecoins that I guarantee will blow your mind. Anyways, I'm Kevin from Coinsider. Can't wait to see you in the next one, and cheers.